Before we get to that interview, though, folks, I do need to tell you about today's sponsor, which is BetOnline. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back on for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all of your pro and college football action this year. With a new and updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. Head to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all of the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Welcome to this College Gridiron Showcase Spotlight interview powered by Frog Fuel. Frog Fuel is designed to be the most powerful protein in the world. Developed by former Navy SEALs and a Stanford biochemist, Frog Fuel's medical-grade nanohydrolyzed collagen helps athletes recover faster, reduce injuries, and increase strength better than whey protein. It also digests 4 times faster than whey isolate and is ready to drink without any mixing. Frog Fuel is proudly made in America and produced by OP22 Labs, a veteran-owned nutrition company based in Fort Worth, Texas. Of course, we'll be down in Fort Worth, Texas, less than a month from now for the College Gridiron Showcase. I believe it is the 8th annual College Gridiron Showcase for an event that put into the NFL last year. 12 guys drafted, another 70-plus that signed free agent contracts after the 2021 NFL Draft. I have joining me today Mr. Jalik Jaggwe, star receiver out of William Jewell College. Really talented football player. Kind of got on my radar this past summer going in to the fall season. Jalik, appreciate you for hopping in, man. How's everything been going?
It's been good. I appreciate you for having me on the show, Mr. Rhyme. It's been going good, definitely though. Just graduated college, got everything turned in, finished up my bachelor's degree. So everything's looking real good. Just looking forward to getting down to the event in Texas and going on from there.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I'm excited to kind of highlight a little bit of what, in my opinion, makes you such a talented and dynamic football player. And I know, heading down to Fort Worth, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be very impressed with what they see from you.
Yes, sir.
But let me start a little bit of the journey here. Yeah, mentioned, just graduated. I wanted to start you off, actually. I know you're an Alabama guy originally. I want to go back to high school for a second. I know you ended up taking the junior college route, ended up at Hutchinson Community College, starred there. So take me just a little bit through, man, like a little bit of the high school stuff going into Hutch and how that was kind of the first start to your journey here.
So high school, honestly, like in high school, I was really just like raw talent. But in the area that I played high school ball in, it was like real competitive because I played 6A football in Alabama. And my high school, they now 7A. So that's the highest classification in Alabama football. And the max prep playoff ranking in high school football, I think like the classification that my high school in is like number 3 in the country. So I was always playing against, like some of the best talent at a high school level that I could find. So like coming out of my senior year, I really didn't have like a lot of exposure or recruitment. It was a lot of people, not even a lot. I had a couple schools talking to me. I remember like Division I wise, Eastern Kentucky. They're at the FCS level. I remember them talking to me. Jacksonville State kind of had interest, like South Alabama and Troy, but I feel like those schools maybe only had interest because I was like an in-state kid and I could have maybe ended up being like a walk-on and it would have been cheap. But I didn't really have anything big as far as any colleges looking at me. Like as far as like offers, the only like offers I had an NAIA offer to a school called Union College in Kentucky, and I had an opportunity from a school called Jacksonville, which is in the Pioneer League, and they don't even give out scholarships. So coming to like the end of my senior year, I was just kind of like at a standstill point because I knew what I wanted to do, but I really didn't have like everybody believing in what I could do. So it was really just like me just kind of like trying to market myself out. So I was just on Twitter couple weeks in a row, couple weekends in a row, just like trying to find JUCOs and junior colleges. Cause honestly, like I didn't even have like a lot of knowledge about what junior college is or like what you can get out of it, what goes into it. I didn't have a lot of knowledge about any of that stuff, let alone college ball in itself. Like I was just like a small town kid from Alabama just playing football because that's what I love to do. So I was on Twitter and I had went through like a list of Mississippi JUCOs, and I really wasn't hearing anything because Mississippi had like an in-state rule, out-of-state rule. And then I remember I had came across Hutchinson's coach, Coach Mack, and he had ended up leaving and going to Grambling State. But I remember when I came across him, I had followed him and he followed me back instantly. And I had got excited about it because that was the first coach who had actually did that. All the other coaches, when I would follow them, they would never follow me back. And it would just be like DM conversations, but they would never follow me. So Coach Mack had followed me and I sent him my film and he responded instantly. He was like, do you have any offers? Are you a qualifier, et cetera, just asking me like the simple questions JUCO coaches ask. And after I gave him the whole rundown, he told me, he was like, I'm going to put your film in front of our staff and then I'm going to be contacting you later again this week. And then I think probably like 3 or 4 days went by and then they gave me the offer and I didn't commit until January. I committed during indoor track season because I played multiple sports in high school. And the recruiter, Coach Krause, he came to see me in Alabama at one of my track meets. And that's when I told him, like, if you offer one of my teammates, which is off the topic, but I told him, if you offer one of my teammates, I'm going to fully commit because it'll make me feel better coming to Kansas with somebody instead of me coming down there by myself. But from the moment that they offered me, in my head, I was already committed. Like, after, like, that was just it. But like same thing at the JUCO route. Like when I got there, I always told myself like the first big school to offer me, that's where I was going to go just because they was the first people to actually take a chance on me. So as soon as Hutchinson offered me, like in my head, I was committed. Like, and honestly speaking, I really didn't even know nothing about Hutch. Like I didn't know it was in Kansas. I honestly didn't really even know where Kansas was. Honestly, like after time went along and my mama was like, do you know where the school is at? And I GPSed it. It was 12 hours away from home. And I was like, I didn't know that, but that's just like, it just lined up with what I wanted to do. So like, I didn't have any like second guesses or anything like that. I was just going with it. And then like, after my high school season ended and everything, I signed the Hutch on signing day. So I got to be a part of that. And it was really like a great feeling for me just because like a lot of people from my high school, let alone like my hometown, they don't really sign scholarships to continue to play collegiate sports. And I got to do that. The newspaper was there. The news channel was there. Like it was all like a big thing. So I felt real good about it. And then like after that, I just kind of like finished up my track season, went to indoor. I actually did go to state for track. I went to state for long jump. I could have went to state for triple jump, but we had prom that day, so I didn't get to compete in sectionals. So I only ended up going for long jump. And I think I ended up placing like 4th or 5th in the state in long jump my senior year. And granted, like I was just real proud of myself for doing that because I started running, like doing track my 11th grade year of high school. Like I never, ever did it prior to then. And I went to state 2 years in a row for long jump. So, you know, and I finished top 5 both years. And that was like my first time ever doing track. So I was just like kind of proud of myself because it was like I really felt like I was starting to become like a higher caliber athlete because I was doing things that I wasn't used to or I wasn't comfortable with, and I was able to perform at a high level. So just like being able to do stuff like that kind of helped strengthen my mindset going into Hutch. I really didn't know what to expect when I went into Hutch, honestly. But like when I got there, it was honestly like other people would say it as like a wake up call, but it wasn't like a wake up call for me in a bad way. It was just more so like a wake up call, like, wow, like it's a lot of talented people here. Like I just remember getting there and like just seeing some of the other receivers that I was competing with, like my teammates, like Jalen, like I mentioned, I think I talked to him about you. Like when I first seen Jalen and Marquise and some of those guys for the first time, it kind of like blew my mind because I was really never used to seeing people move and cut and just do things like that at the speed they was able to do it. So when I got to Hutch, I kind of just turned into like a sponge. Like I learned every position in the offense, and that's why I ended up making the roster my freshman year of college, because I played X, Y, Z, and H. Like I was able to do everything because I knew the whole playbook. And then on top of that, like I just wanted to learn whatever I can. So like I kind of just listen to everything and anything that the coach would tell me, Coach Brown, and I would just kind of apply it and try to do it the best that I can. Granted, it took me, some time to develop and stuff like that, because I remember even like when I went to Hutch, I came in and I had a sprained ankle, so I was kind of behind from everybody else as far as like when we got into our conditioning and everything like that. But I honestly tell a lot of people, like, me going to Hutch was like the best thing for my life and my football career, because like when I went out there and got around all of the other people, like it really just like increased, like, because I already had a dog mentality. I already had that about myself always, but like when I went out there, it increased it, because like when I got around the people like that, like Jalen, Khalil, Keese, all of those dudes, they was either faster than me, they were taller, they were stronger, or they were bigger. But whatever they was, I wanted to eliminate that factor from me not having it. So if they were faster than me, I wanted to race them. When we was doing 110s or 60s or whatever, I wanted to compete with them that way. If they were stronger than me, okay, now we got to compete in the weight room. I want to squat more to you, because I always been a heavy weight room fiend. Like in high school, I got the record at my high school for I don't think I got it for back squat no more, but I had it for back squat. I squatted 405 when I was 16, and I got the receiver, because we do like maxes for position groups. So I still have the power clean max for receiver since 2015. It's still up there on the board at my high school. So it's I think it was like 285, but I was only 16 years old doing that. So I know, like, even now, like I'm in my last year of college, I don't even see some people doing that now. And I was doing that at a crazy young age. So like if they were stronger than me, I just wanted to beat them out in the weight room. If they were faster, I wanted to beat them out on the field. And like if they had better hands, I wanted to get on the jug machine. Like it really didn't matter. Like Hutch really just like put me in the mindset to where it was like, I can do this and I can do this, because all I had really heard prior to that was like a bunch of can'ts, or like just like synonyms that go with can't, that just kind of put you in a mindset where it's like, oh well, am I that good or am I this? But like when I got to Hutch, it kind of just solidified me in who I was, and it helped me find myself like in my journey.
I love it, man. And there's a couple of key things that I took away from your play style that makes a lot of sense now that I hear a little more of your background. The two things I wrote down about you were explosiveness.
Yes,
you
sir.
talked about your track background. You talked about the jumps, right? Like that translates easily. Short area explosiveness, 100%. And then I wrote competitiveness. I felt like you do carry yourself, whether it is at the catch point or it is defeating press or whatever it is, you're a very competitive football player. So those were a couple things that really stood out, and kind of hearing the backstory. That's why I love doing the backstory stuff, because that's where that translates for me. And I love hearing that. So I want to hear about the next step, man, because I've heard, and you kind of mentioned a little bit, right? Like I remember one of my first interviews I ever did was with Darwin Thompson, who was also JUCO route, Utah State, played it for the Kansas City Chiefs for a few years.
Oh yeah, I know Darwin. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he talked to me a little bit about the JUCO route, right? And he told me like he gets there and it's like dog eat dog, dude. Like it's like you see a lot of talented football players that just don't make it because they just don't have that. They just don't have. They never develop that. So talk to me a little bit about the next step. Obviously, you experienced recruiting for the second time. What was it about William Jewell College that really stood out to you, and how did that opportunity present itself to you?
Okay, coming out of my sophomore year of JUCO, so I was always what they consider like a classroom guy. I was never like one of the people who had issues with classroom credits, hours attended, hours showing up. I never had none of those issues, just because like I'm first generation African in the United States. My dad came to the States when he was 18 or 19, and he came over here for a scholarship to play soccer at UAH. And then my mom, she's from Town Creek, Alabama, which is a small town. So just both of my parents coming from like literally nothing, certain things were automatically distilled into me growing up. Like I remember growing up and my like being in second grade, third grade, and like my daddy used to have me and my brother, who was a year younger than me. he used to put like timetables in front of us, multiplication timetables, and we used to have to compete and see who would get the most right for whatever the prize was that my daddy would give us. So like stuff like that. So I never had none of those issues. So like I actually could have left JUCO in December and graduated and went on. But at the time that when that time had came, the schools that was talking to me, the amount of money that they were trying to give me for the scholarship wasn't meeting what I thought my play was. Like the money was cool and it was a blessing to get those offers, but like I told you, because of where I come from and the people I've played against, I always held myself to a certain standard. So I always felt like I should be awarded in a certain type of scholarship. So I came back to Hutch for the spring semester to try to like hold out a little bit to see like what more interest I could get. So when I came back in the spring semester, it was a lot of adversity that I had ended up facing because of just like a lot of the stuff that was going on like inside of Hutchison's program. There's a lot of changes going on and just a lot of stuff that was happening. So honestly, like in that semester, I really got like 0 to none in terms of recruitment. Like I remember Southwestern Oklahoma State, Coach Hennis, he was really like one of the, and then I had a coach at Eastern New Mexico. Those were two good D2 programs, but those was really like the only two schools that was honestly like, talking to me. So when the spring semester ended, the money that those two schools had for me at the time that they first started talking to me, they didn't have that same money anymore. So then I was at a point where it was like, I really don't know like what I want to do right now. And I contemplated like stepping away from ball for a second, just trying to figure things out. But like that whole summer, I left Alabama and I was in Minnesota the whole summer. So I was in another uncomfortable position, being away from everything that I knew, just like when I went to Hutch. And I was working a job. I was working at Sprint. I had a membership at the YMCA. So I would work from like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, get off of work, and I would go to the gym at like 4 or 5, and then I would work out. So I was literally doing everything on my own the whole summer leading into the 2019 fall, which was honestly my biggest football season that I've ever had in my life. But at that time, I didn't really have nothing going on. I remember talking to UTEP, and that was kind of like the only school who I had got in talks with during that summertime, because like I was honestly just scattering trying to find a school to get into before camp. UTEP had extended me an offer as a PWO, and I was gonna take the offer, and I was gonna end up going to UTEP, but my coach, Coach Brown, the receiver coach at Hutch, who ended up being my mentor throughout my whole college career, he's still in my corner now, and he's the person who helps me out with damn near everything when it comes to like the football and life and everything else. But he was just like, just like talking to me from like really like just like low-key like an uncle to nephew type of way. Like he was just telling me like, I know you want to go D1. I know that's every JUCO kid dream. I know that's every high school kid's dream. But he always taught me look at it from a business standpoint. Like football is a business. This isn't like, you don't need to let your feelings get involved with this decision you're making, because this decision is like the next biggest decision of your life. And he had a coach, good friend of his, Coach Harper, who that's like, I look at Coach Harper like really like an uncle to me now. That's my coach here at Jewell. He was here at Jewell. He had came from Kahoma. He had coached at Fort Scott. So I trusted him pairing me up with Coach Harper because Coach Harper had a great background. He coached in the same conference I was coming from. So I knew he knew talent, and I knew he knew how to coach a dog, and stuff like that. So the time had came, and it was the end of July, and Jewell had, after I committed to UTEP, Jewell had offered me 90% in scholarship money, which was almost a full ride. And I had never even been in no situation like that. So I had just like took some time. I think I had took like 3 days, and I just like, at the time I had a girlfriend, so I just talked to her about it. And like, really, that was it. Like, I didn't talk to my mom, like not even with the Hutch thing. Like, I never included my parents in none of my decisions because they were my decisions. I never wanted to be influenced by the outside world and what I want to to do for my life, because, you know, people are always going to tell you what they think is best for you, but I wanted to control my own destiny. So, like, just talking to her and just, you know, making it a business decision, I just decided to go to Jewell because it was the best thing for me. And they kind of, Coach Harper and Coach Brown, they also mapped out, like, they just gave me the whole blueprint. Like, they told me, they was like, because the biggest thing for me with switching from UTEP to Jewell was, I told them, I was like, I want to go to the NFL. Like, I want to go play professional football. Like, that's my dream. And that's what I have, you know, set forth on my mind, because I feel like I can do it and I know I can do it. So they told me, they was like, you can go to Alabama, you can go to Auburn, you can go to Oregon, you can go anywhere. If you don't have no film and if you don't go run a good 40, you're not going to get your opportunity to go to the NFL regardless of where you're at. So they told me, like, you can go to Jewell, get 100 targets. You're going to be the number one person in the offense. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. You're going to get this opportunity. And I just took that into consideration and I just went with it. And all of it paid off. And when I came to Jewell, honestly, what I had on my mind, like, I wanted to come to Jewell and, like, just be something different. Like, I wanted to be kind of like, I shared I quoted a tweet on Twitter yesterday that I seen, and it was like, followers never know what the leaders have to go through to create the path for the people that's coming in behind them. I just wanted to come in and do something nobody has ever done. Like, nobody in the history of Jewell has had double-digit scouts come through and see them, you know, in a semester. Like, this semester, I had over 15 to 20 scouts come through to see me personally. And Jewell has never, ever had anything like that ever happen. I just wanted to do something like that, kick down doors for people who's never had opportunities, open doors for people who probably never even thought that they could do something, and just show people all around the states, because obviously everybody really kind of has the mindset D1 or nothing, you know, big or bust, like stuff like that. I wanted to just show people, like, you know, you can take control of your destiny and you can do things coming from smaller paces. Like, you don't always have to go to Alabama or Texas State, UTEP, Southern Miss, anywhere. Like, you don't have to go to this super big, crazy school for you to get an opportunity. So that was really it when it came to me switching from UTEP to Jewell. And then on top of that, I just wanted to get my degree. Like, because I had just got my associates, and like, it hasn't been nobody in my household graduate college. So, like, I'm first generation. So I really wanted to attain my degree. And on top of that, I just wanted to get an opportunity to go play football at the next level.
For sure. And obviously you have that opportunity coming very soon. And just for people that haven't maybe caught up with your career, I would go take a look at just kind of the profile a little bit and see some of the successes that you have had. You know, obviously you had a dynamic first year in 2019. And then we talked a little bit about before we started, obviously you had the abbreviated 2020 spring, you know, that season got pushed into the spring, but you had over 100 plus yards receiving every single game, and you were a dominant player in that conference, obviously. And then this year again, you averaged, I think it was six and a half catches a game, over 70 yards a game. So you had another successful year. Talk to me a little bit, Jalik, about your improvements as a football player, because you talked about, you know, that you have that dog in you. You're constantly improving. You want it to be faster, stronger than everybody you've kind of gone against when you saw it Hutch and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. What do you feel like, looking back on it, your biggest improvements as a football player from when you first stepped foot, maybe at Hutchinson or even William Jewell, until where you are now?
Honestly, I think, like, biggest improvements from, like, I'll tell you both of them, like, from Jewell to now and Hutch to now. Like, from Hutch to now, I'm a completely different receiver than I was. Like, I'm 10 times more faster. I think I grew like 2 more inches. I'm way bigger. Like, because like, I literally just figured out myself. So literally everything from when I got to Hutch, from hands, concentration, checking the ball over the shoulder, high pointing the ball, catching the ball, getting upfield, my run after the catch, not going down on first contact. Everything is different from when I was a freshman until this point now. Now, from when I first got to Jewell and now, when I first got to Jewell, I was a lot more slimmer than I was these past 2 seasons. So like, my first season at Jewell, I played the season at like 187, 188. And like, my body type, like my body frame, I'm like a 200 I'm like a 200 frame guy. Like the heaviest I done been at Jewell was like 208. So I can kind of push it to get to that 210 area. Kind of like Jarvis Landry type of build, Debo Samuel, like those type of dudes. But like from when I first got to Jewell, I was really at that same time, I was still like very, very raw talent. Like it really wasn't a lot of stuff that I was doing from like a knowledge standpoint. I was just kind of just taking from what I learned at the JUCO level and just applying it there. And like when I had got to Jewell, I kind of honestly, like I just had the demeanor that I just didn't really think nobody could just could stick with me, honestly, just because I was coming from what we call the SEC of JUCOs. So I really, like, when I got to Jewell, honestly, I think my 2019 season was so successful, not because I was the best player out there or I was just this far in a gap in athleticism or this and that. I honestly just think was because, like, of what I thought about myself. Like, game in and game out, when I would see the scout report, like, I didn't think anybody could check me. Like, I respected all of my competition. I respected all my DBs, like the ones that I've went against, even like after the game this year, 2019, all of that. I've always had conversation with the DBs after the game. They always give me respect. I always give them respect, and I tell them it was a great battle. But as far as preparations for the game, like during the weekend practice, looking at the scouting report, stuff like that, like I always just like carried myself as if I was the man. Like I didn't think that anybody could stop me, and I didn't think that anybody was well enough prepared to stop me, because I would always watch a lot of film, and like I would just watch techniques. Like I would just watch what DBs do. How do they perform against this guy? Okay, how do they play against a short receiver? How do they play against a big receiver? How do they play against a receiver with my body type and stuff like that? So when I got to Jewell and ending in Jewell, I think like one of the biggest improvements I made was becoming a bigger student of the game. Like just figuring out, okay, they do this on third down. So like this year, I knew every single time it was third down, I know the teams are going to blitz us. Like I knew that game in and game out, everybody's going to heat my quarterback up. So everything has to happen faster. So also I think like my releases got better and I got more aggressive. Like when I first got to Jewell, I was kind of more of like a finesse guy, just because I hadn't ever been able to be a finesse guy. I was more of a power guy. So I tried to be more of a finesse guy because I wanted to learn that element of my game so I can apply it to what I already had in my game. So then after 2019, I had figured that, you know, finesse is cool, but I have that figured out now. So the spring season and going into my senior season, I wanted to be more of like a power person, just downhill, going straight at them, like not going around them, just trying to go through them because I have like a size advantage. So that was really like one of the things that I worked on this year, improving on. And then lastly, one of the things that I tried to improve on the most was making my run plays look like pass plays. I wanted to come off the ball the same every single time the ball was snapped. Granted, you know, it didn't always look like that. I played a good amount of snaps this year because I had a younger team this year. I had a real young team. I think we played more freshmen and sophomores and stuff like that in the conference than any other team in the conference. Like, and then my whole team this year was honestly new, like new quarterback, new O-line. We had a lot of injuries throughout the year. I think we've ended up finishing this year with probably like 50 to 60 players. And we started with 98, 99, I want to say. So, you know, it was just like a lot of adversity the whole year. So I kind of just tried to stay myself, because I know when stuff like that goes on, it's very easy for you to fall out of your ways and start pointing the finger here or blaming this person, this coach or this coach. But I tried to take everything that was going on and just like kind of increase my play and increase what I had going on the field.
And again, this is a College Gridiron Showcase Spotlight interview powered by Frog Fuel, bringing you an inside look into Jalik Jaggwe, star wide receiver out of William Jewell College, coming down to Fort Worth, Texas very soon here. Jalik, I only have a couple more questions for you, man. I want to ask about the events. Obviously, you got the invite to come down to Fort Worth, showcase yourself.
Yes,
you've been averaging over 130 NFL scouts over the past couple years. So you're going to have a lot of attention, a lot of looks. Want to ask you just about the privilege that you have to be invited to the event and what you're excited to show to scouts specifically when you get down here in, just in the new year, very soon here.
Privilege wise, honestly, it's like this is really like one of the biggest blessings that I've really like received this year. Like I know like having all the scouts come in and stuff like that, like that's very major, especially coming from where I'm coming from. Because I remember one of the scouts telling me earlier in the year, like he's been scouting this area for 10, 15 years and he's never came to my school. So figuring like hearing stuff like that this year is honestly I've just been thankful the whole year and I've just been taking everything one day at a time. But when I received the invite for this bowl, I was most ecstatic about it because I honestly wasn't sure like what type of opportunities I would get as far as senior bowls go, because you can always believe in yourself, but somebody might not always see what you see, or somebody might not always think you're worth taking that shot. So I'm honestly honored because I get to come down there and be a part of the event and get to compete with some great guys. But as far as what I want to do when I come down there, I just really want to show like all of the scouts who I am, talk to them personally, let them learn more about me, just so they see like I'm a honest young man, good man with my head squared on straight. I want them to know that I come from like a good family, like my mama raised me right, my daddy did good taking care of me. I want them to be able to know all of that, and I also want them to see that like what I have done in these past 3 years isn't just like me doing this because of where I'm at. Like I be feeling sometimes like a lot of the people that have certain accolades, certain achievements, certain stuff like that, I honestly be feeling like some of them got to do some of these things because of the location they were at. And I feel like me coming from where I'm coming from, like we only had one win in the past 3 years, and I still accomplished this, that, and that. And a lot of people, when stuff like that goes down, they start to lose their courageousness. They start to lose, you feel me, their dog in them. They start to second guess themselves. Oh, well, maybe if I was playing better, we would be winning more and stuff like that. But, football is a team sport. It takes all 11 guys for things to go good. So I just want to show them like that I'm like a real diamond in the rough, because like I really be feeling like I'm like going to end up being one of the biggest under the radar small school guys in this upcoming year's draft. And I just want to show them that in person, because I know like it might be like underplayed a little bit because I'm coming from the GLVC, but a lot of the guys in the GLVC also have good talent. And I've seen a lot of them go to bigger places, transfer to big schools. Even like 2 guys from the 2019 season that I played against, both of them got picked up in that year's draft class. So I really just want to show them that I can compete against people from other schools, no matter what helmet they got on, or how big the school is, how many full ride scholarships the school has. I just want to show them that I can come and perform at a high level no matter what the circumstances are that's placed in front of me.
And I know we're very excited for you to get in front of those scouts, both from, again, the personal level, being able to interview with them, getting the medicals, getting the height, weights, all that good stuff, getting on the field and showcasing the player that you are. Kind of my last question for you, Jalik, is, of course, I know that it's been a long journey for you. I'm sure it's been a long time coming, and you've probably had this dream to play professional football for a long time. So my last question is a two-parter. One, how long has it been a dream to be a professional athlete potentially? And number 2 is just what type of blessing is it going to be just a few months from now you can officially finally call yourself a professional athlete and live out that dream?
Yes, sir. Honestly, it's been a dream for a long time. Like I remember like not too long ago, my mama sending me like some old baby pictures when I was a baby, like I had a football in my hand. So it's honestly been a dream for a long time. Granted, like I really didn't grow up. I didn't grow up the most football oriented because, like I said, my dad came over here from Africa when he was 19. So I kind of grew up quote unquote immigrant-ish, just because like I was growing up under the customs and values of an African parent. Like my dad is from Kampala, Uganda, and I'm his firstborn son. I'm both of my parents' firstborn child. So everything for me, honestly, was kind of like different than it is for like my younger siblings. Like I feel like, like just I just feel like a lot of things had to happen the way they happened because of who I am and because of the type of life that I'm coming from with my family. Like I remember when I was 14, I had a cousin who had passed away, and he had a heavy dream. Like I remember him telling me like he wanted to go to Alabama, play football, and his favorite team was the Cowboys. He was a big Dez Bryant fan. He always wore 88, and he wanted to go and play professional football and do literally everything that I'm doing now. And he ended up passing away when I was 15. And that moment in my life really kind of struck something in me because his dream came up short because of outstanding circumstances. It was something that he couldn't control. So when that happened, honestly, I kind of started taking everything a lot more aggressively, like because I was already serious about it. But I think when I was younger, I used to let people's comments alter what I was thinking about myself. Like I used to tell people I wanted to be an NFL player when I was younger, but I would always hear this, that, and the other. So it would kind of alter what I would think about it. But when my cousin had passed away, I kind of like devoted it to him and like vowed to him. Like I remember just like low key like 2 years ago when I had went to see him at his headstone, I told him like I'm gonna make it happen for you. Like you gonna get to see your dream come true. You just gonna have to live it through me. So like when that went on, like I kind of just took it I already had a chip on my shoulder being African and just like just being different from, because like I didn't really grow up around any African kids for real. Like everybody where I'm from, they're from there. Like majority of the people that I was around coming up, they're from there. Like I was like a standout where I'm from. So I made that a bigger chip on my shoulder. And I'm like, I got to go harder. I got to do this. I got to do that because I want to make sure that this happens so that me and my cousin can both live this out. Now, as far as like when the moment happens, when I get my opportunity and I'm in the league, I don't know, because even like me just graduating college, like I'm still shocked about that. Just, like, and I ain't even got my bachelor's, the piece of paper yet, but I've seen the grade. Like I finished with a B in the class. So like, I know that I did it, but like, I'm still astonished about that just because you always like dream about this stuff and you always see it in your head and stuff like that. But when it happens, like, you just be like, wow, like it's just like a breathtaking moment. And then like I know like I'll probably just be like lost for words, honestly, because I think like my path is kind of similar to one of my close friends, Jerry Jacobs. I feel like my path is kind of similar to his. Like we went to Hutch together, and he was one of those guys that I seen when I got to Hutch, and I was like, wow, like this dude's like a crazy freak athlete. But I just been talking to him a lot lately, and just telling him how proud I am of him, accomplishing his goals, but he still got a lot more to accomplish that I know he will accomplish. But just him getting there, kicking the door down, like honestly, when I seen Jerry get in there and start and see him make plays on Sunday, like when I've just been seeing all of that, it's kind of honestly just been giving me more and more motivation, telling me that I know that I can do it. Because me and Jerry literally used the same bathroom, same locker room, same facility, ate the same nasty calf food and everything else. So like he just talks to me a lot, and he just be telling me, go get it. Like if I want to do it, I can do it. Like, I'm in control of it. Like I'm the person that's doing all the work and stuff like that. So it's just gonna be a blessing, honestly. Like I probably won't even believe it for like the first day or two. Like it'll just be so surreal to me, just because everything that I've had to face in my life. But I'm crazy excited for it, especially just like everything coming up. I'm excited to get to the bowl game, to come down there and compete, and then after the bowl game, get to Miami to start training for the draft. I'm just excited for these next couple months. And then my birthday is on the 8th, so I'm gonna be down there for the bowl game.
Nice.
for my birthday. And I just feel like year 23, because I'm turning 23. I'm still fairly young for real. I know a lot of guys at the D2 level, especially, they be a lot older because they went D2 because they ran out of clock. But I went straight through high school, never redshirted all the way through. So I feel like year 23, like that's gonna end up being like a lucky number for me, just for everything that's finna come my way for the age of 23.
Absolutely. And that's a great note on Jerry there too. He's done a really good job for the Lions, like you said, as well.
Sure.
So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Again, this is a College Gridiron Showcase Spotlight interview powered by Frogfuel. Make sure to check out frogfuel.com for all the latest and great products Frogfuel is putting out there. Again, joined by Jalik Jaggwe, star receiver out of William Jewell College. He'll be down with me in the College Gridiron Showcase here in only a couple weeks. Jalik, this was awesome, man. Really appreciate everything, and I look forward to seeing you down in Fort Worth, my man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.